I was given a sourdough starter, this time by a family member, my uncle, and well, I've never really been a baker, so figured why not bring along everybody else for the ride too. So this is a video of me making the first attempt at this recipe. Other than this, I've probably only ever made some cupcakes or drop cookies, you know, Pillsbury cut and plop on a thing. So we'll see how this goes. That was a very fancy display of the salt. They're, you know, definitely not sponsoring me. And trying to figure this out. You'll see me pause a number of different times as I double check the recipe or second guess myself. Here, probably mixing the crap out of this salt to, you know, try to dissolve it because it was chunky. Here, this is weird, trying to scoop it out. It's fighting me. It's now sticking. I'm just, what is going on? Okay, now it's sticking to my finger. Like, get off there. There we go. Going back in for some more. It's just an ongoing thing. Fighting again, losing it, trying to scoop it out. Probably not the best tool for this. This is now sticking again. We'll learn. If you have any ideas or suggestions of better things to scoop it out of the jar with, I'm all ears. Maybe it's a little bit too chunky or whatever. I had fed it the night before, about 8.5, 9 hours before doing this, so it had risen and then settled back down. As I finally hit the total amount there called for in the recipe, I got a little worried that I'd taken too much out of my starter. Quickly put more flour and water in there and revived it, and it came back, and it's been raring to go since, but got a little worried I took too much out. Here I am cleaning up the table a little bit. Left that in there, if anything, just so my wife has proof that I've actually done it at least once. So now we got everything dissolved and mixed together, start adding the dry goods. No real clue or idea of why I'm doing anything in the order I am. The instructions from my uncle, of course, did not have near as much detail as I expected. Not even sure if that doughy, stirry, hooky thing is the right thing to be stirring with, but here I am measuring it out. You already saw me pause it again, trying to figure out if that was the right amount or how much I was going to. Using King Arthur bread flour and all-purpose flour for this one. So just in case that makes too much of a difference between other versions. Put too much in, so here we go, pinching it, pulling it back out, doing it again, still need it a little bit more, putting it back in the bag. Probably not the best baking technique, but doing what we're doing here, going with it. So get rid of the scale so I don't smash that, and now it's on to the mixing. I was genuinely surprised I didn't make more of a mess out of this than, you know, I did. You can see a little bit all over the table already. It does grow from there, but yeah, getting this all incorporated is the plan from here. There goes some more flour on the table. Again, got to keep those proof pictures or videos in there for my wife that I actually do the cleaning afterwards. But the dough's starting to come together, getting a little splotchy or sloppy and stringy and sticky, trying to just get all that extra flour incorporated into it. Oh, there goes a bit more. It's getting stuck, so trying to pull it off there. Not really doing much more than getting it stuck to my fingers and making a bit more of a mess, but got it all essentially put together, so called it good there. I'm going to use the spatula to scrape the bowl down and try to keep that from having too much crusties later on as the rest go on. Just getting set up here and getting it prepped here. Do a little ta-da moment. I'm more surprised than I expect any of y'all to be, but getting it covered here so that it can do its initial rest and kind of start incorporating moisture through everything. But 13 minutes later, we're you know, got that first initial rest done, and now I'm gonna try to be doing some kneading in the bowl. Didn't probably watch as many videos or review as many things on this as I probably should have. Not really 100% sure what I'm doing. My uncle's instructions did not give near as much detail as I'd hoped for, but we just kind of winging it. So any you know, recommendations, suggestions, pointers, tips would be good. As it's, you know, speeding up here, this is about when I started to figure out it's a bit more sticky and a bit more messy than I was expecting. expecting. We're about 2 or so minutes in, 3 minutes in now. The instructions said to do it for 10 minutes. So, yeah, just sit back and enjoy this hodgepodgey, sticky, wet mess. Oh, there we go, throwing it out of the bowl. Speeding it up a little bit faster here, get us all caught up. At a certain point, I just started kind of picking it up and setting it back down. It was just sticking all over my hands, sticking all over the bowl was sliding all over. Well, yeah, just look at that mess. Look at that mess. What are you doing? It's just like I'm playing with it, almost like it's Play-Doh. Been spinning the bowl, not so much spinning the dough, but we'll see how, it turns out here. But trying my best, working it, trying to get it to, build out that gluten, as everything says, and back to the spatula action. Okay, try to keep that bowl clean, at least a little bit by the dough ball. So now we're back to getting things covered up, and it's going to go into a rest for the proofer for a little bit before we start doing the stretches and folds. Again, if anybody has better pointers or instructions about how to work with a dough this moist and wet, as I've come to find out since taking this on, I'm open to suggestions and pointers. But let it proof for about 30 minutes and bring it back out for the first stretch and fold. I'll be honest, this one is a fairly satisfying pull to watch. Get ready, it's coming up here. And just look at this stretch. Oh, wait a minute, I was a little early. Oh, there it goes. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Good raise and flop back down. Again, basing this off nothing other than just, it looks nice to me. Again, I was always that person that, tossed the cake batter into the pan and got some burnt non-raised thing or cookies that all melted together in my previous baking history. So this is already, not perfect, but progress. But we get it covered up, toss it back in the proofer again for another 30 minutes. Bring it back out, and we'll get the second set of proofs done, and just keep it moving along. I don't know what I was pointing at there. Oof, good stretch. Look at that good stretch. Another one. Ooh, get it turned. I don't know why, but I find this part just extremely satisfying when doing it in the process. Trying to keep it somewhat organized and bringing it back to a nice little tight ball. I don't know why. I'm just kind of jiggling it around. Seem like making more of a mess than I need to be. But get it covered up, and we'll do our third rest. Yeah, just kidding. Completely forgot to film this, so I'll try and remember to better. What can I say? Haven't done any filming since high school, and that's been a number of years. We gave it 2 hours of a bulk rest after the third set of stretch and folds, and now we're moving into the getting the bannetons prepped, or banneton, if you want to even call it that. It's a silicone flexible one that I was given, a hand-me-down. I can see why it was a hand-me-down. You'll see why in a little bit here. The other one's a bowl that I had available. I didn't realize until I read this far down the instructions that it was for dividing into 2 different loaves versus one larger one, but dumping out the extra flour here. As I mentioned, foreshadowing a bit, this silicone banneton is really not the greatest. I've since bought some actual bannetons, so we will be able to use that and have better results. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but if I'm not, feel free to call me out in the comments below. I want to make sure I'm not being rude or offending anybody or cultures in any way, shape, or form there. But here I am, just kind of smacking around, shaping it roughly. Again, guesstimating. Probably should have pulled the scale back out again. Foreshadowing again for something you'll see coming up here. But just trying to get it divided so that I can get it resting for 15 to 20 minutes here on the table and let it just kind of do its thing. But want to do that pre-shaping first. For a first attempt, I did watch a number of videos of this. I'm not, mad at how it turned out. I'm not mad at the work, but definitely room for improvement. And again, should have definitely weighed before starting to do the shaping and stuff like that. All right, now you're just playing with it a little bit. But yeah, get that out of the way. bring the other one over, get a little bit more flour in my hands. Oh crap, that is really sticky. Let go of my hand. It's like working with an octopus, just kind of smacking around, but it's just getting drugged back and forth by all that springiness. Getting a nice little dome top kind of coming together occasionally, and then it goes away. Start chasing it, but this is when I realized it was a little small, so I decided to take some off of the other one. Probably not the smartest idea for shaping and forming and gluten and all that stuff. Again, feel free to call me out or tell me better ways to do it, or pivot, or things after the fact here down in the comments. I'm learning as I go, and I'm, excited to be a part of the community and learn from all of y'all, and then, provide examples of what not to do for anybody in the future if that is the case. But getting things floured here to do the final shaping, and so we're going to pull this one over here first, get it pulled together super, super moist, extra hydrated dough, but get it spread out here and try to do the, I think if I remember correctly, boulet? If it's pronounced correctly, I might be wrong there. Again, call me out, make fun of me, do it as you want down in the comments. Not too proud to learn as I go here or admit I was wrong. But doing some kind of like a checkerboard, or not checkerboard, tic-tac-toe, 4-quadrant fold here, and then just kind of folding it a bit more. My uncle's notes, of course, did not have too much before instructions there, so just kind of doing a combination of a few different things I saw before doing those stitches across and rolling it up. Not horrible in terms of shaping. I have to say I really expected that I was going to do a lot worse, so this isn't horrible. We get that over there. There's that stupid Banneton thing again, the silicone one. The dough fights me a little bit, and then whoop, flop that in there. Get that set aside. Do a little bit more pinches. Try to bring it as tight as possible together. Keep it, looking pretty. Again, just wait and see how that turns out. Again, any ideas that anybody has or suggestions for working with a dough this hydrated, this sticky, this wet, let me know. Using the good old trusty shower cap, bought a pack of those from Amazon for the cover. Much easier to work with than that stretch wrap that really doesn't, kind of shrink wrap to anything anymore from like when we were kids. So annoying. I'm also that person these days. I guess I've gotten that old. This one, though, is going to be a bit of a rough shaping. Just didn't work with me. It started fighting with me. It didn't go well from the start. You're going to see me try to take and redo it, which just doesn't work out very well in and of itself. Ironically, this is going to be the one that turns out the best in terms of overall shape. I'm not sure if it's due to this monstrosity of shaping process or if it was just how well the bowl held it together in the overnight proofing, but it definitely is the one that has a better overall shape. It'll be the one that we have the sexy shots of later at the end. But trying to get that rolled up, starting to stick, and just not enough flour, just too wet a dough. It's sticking, it's pulling. I'm trying this, I'm trying that. Let's try doing this. Add some more flour. We're going to rub it together. We're going to try flopping it down. Here's, as I mentioned, where I try to just give up and redo it. Now it doesn't want to turn out of a ball. I'm trying to stretch it. It's a bit of a heart shape, maybe for Valentine's Day next year. Who knows? But yeah, let's just get this. No, it's not working. Okay, I give up right about there. Now you just see me just doing kind of whatever, putting it into a ball shape and pinching it and just, again, guessing at anything that this might be. So yeah, again, make fun of, call out better approaches in the comments, whatever you feel like. I look forward to reading it and doing better next time. Since this, I have purchased the Sourdough Bible by Lane Bodie. Apologies if I mispronounced that last name. And I am, the next video I'm taking on for this weekend's sourdough, her recommended starter sourdough. So definitely lower hydration percentage, and I definitely think between it and having some more of the proper gear will go a little bit better. And definitely look forward to seeing anybody's thoughts about the comparison between that and this process. But here I am again using the bowl. Best option, best of the worst maybe, who knows. But trying to get that shaping in there a little bit more, just guessing at what might be the best thing to do after how failed of a shaping process that was. Get it covered, and then we're going to get both of these suckers in the fridge overnight for a good 15 to 16 hours and get prepared. So next morning, waking up bright and early, and here we go. Let's see how this turned out. We're gonna get a little bit of flouring going on, I guess. I forgot to show the camera. That's a horrible angle how the dough turned out, but it did puff up nicely again overnight. Here's though where you're about to see some catastrophe. I got this silicone thing hand down as well. Get that tapped on there now that the flour's there, and then I'm gonna try to flop out here and definitely miss, but doesn't matter because it doesn't come out. It won't let go. This whole thing was sold to me when given to me as oh, it's silicone, it's flexible, it doesn't have the issues. Well, it also doesn't have the liner. It also didn't do a very good job in releasing. You can see it dropping down, and just look at this horrible shape when it comes out. Like, what is that? It's swapping over. I didn't think to put it in the pan when I was doing it. I'll do that next time. But now we're starting to score it using one of my sharper paring knives, but you know, just kind of making a bit of a mess of it. I have since purchased a proper tool, a razor blade for scoring, so we'll be using that in future ones. I'm looking forward to seeing the difference, but just going to town on this thing, getting a huge split in it ahead of time. Probably went a little bit too deep there. Videos online, it does have a bit of a variance between what folks are doing, it looks like, but we're going to get this thing in there. Did not preheat the pan for this one. Probably should have, but it didn't call it out in my uncle's instructions. And also, nicely enough, he did call out that he prefers to use the Dutch oven, but didn't give me the actual instructions for using the Dutch oven. All the instructions were the original, putting it directly in the open air of the oven and doing the spraying. So this was a bit of a guesstimation, but you know, not much rise on there. Just gonna find out that this is a little bit hot. Kind of forgot that idea, you know, 450 plus degrees in that oven. I'm just trying to again. Hey, yeah, let's use that towel, dummy. That's a great idea. Much smarter. Could have left the, you know, hot pads on our hands too. That would have been smart. We're gonna get this covered up and let it rest while we get the other one in the pan. Here again, I completely forgot to start filming to do the scoring of the second one, just going to town on there. But you can see it held its shape a lot better in that dome in the pan, or in the bowl, and so maybe that led to why it came out better. The pan was obviously hot for this one, and so we'll see, maybe that was a bit of the difference between that and the shaping, but a much better result. Oh, another display, like I'm a magician's assistant. Then I forgot what I was going to do with that hot pan lid, so I had to go deal with that. Now, just dancing around with the old bread to then show off the new one. A little bit toasty, a little bit crunchy, a little bit crispy, but nice little pattern on there. That was the result of that first one when I cut into it. We scraped out the middle and made it into steak sandwiches, so it still was saved and good. These are the sexies of that, you know, domed one. So overall, a fun experience. I look forward to seeing the comments and the thoughts and recommendations for going forward and making more videos for you. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. Until the next video, keep baking.